If I can ask you gentlemen real quick, and you don't mean to be quick, but if you had to trade for a position, and I went on the break this morning. I work on DallasCowboys.com, and I love going over there and doing stuff. And I made a passionate speech to Jerry Jones about trying to do something here. I basically said, I don't have time for your salary cap. I don't have time for your, trying to keep things in order and keeping draft picks. I'm seeing what the landscape of the National Football League looks like right now.
Mm-hmm. Wide open.
Go take this thing. Go find a way to make a move.
Are you telling him to hashtag? Are you telling Jerry right now to hashtag go and take it?
No, that would be a good hashtag.
Like
but
Carpe Omnia.
But that's the whole thing.
The Rangers hashtag.
That's what they say. I mean, the Cowboys motto was about seize everything, right?
It was.
Yeah.
And and so for them to sit there and say, well, the deal has to come, and I understand he doesn't want to give up leverage. I get it. Don't give up leverage, but go out there and try and help your team right now. And they're always going to tell you, oh, we love our guys and this and that. This thing's for the taking. One player could make a difference, a huge difference in the rest of the season for the Cowboys.
Absolutely.
So I ask you guys this. I'm not asking you a player. That's my job. I'm asking you a position. I'm asking you something. What do you think the one position that you could go get that would make an absolute difference on this football team?
I got two of them, either a corner or a linebacker. The linebacker has to be outstanding. The corner just has to be pretty dang good.
Yeah, okay. I like that.
Yeah, I'm all in on the corner position. I think the coverage is certainly, there's been a drop-off there, and I think when you marry what they had at the beginning of the season when Trayvon Diggs was healthy with the pass rush, that was the recipe for a potentially great to elite defense, and that they're lacking that right now. I mean, you saw it in Monday Night Football against the Chargers. If Justin Herbert wasn't off target, they probably would have had 30 points scored against them because of their lapses in the secondary. So I would definitely go with a corner.
Yeah, this team is if they're going to win considerably, they're going to be winning because of their defense. I think you got to look on the defensive side, and corner would be the most important spot, I would say, at this point.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's the corner as well. I think that I didn't want to believe that the Diggs injury I thought they could play through it. And I think playing Bland, I love what Bland has done. I think Bland playing on the outside has been fine. I think Bland is a better nickel corner. I think playing inside is his strength. And with Gilmore, I just watch the routes that are run across the field on him, and you can see separation there. And I worry about teams going that route. So corner's one I would say. Okay, the most popular name, and this is coming from my gang of 7 guys.
Okay.
If you could trade for a guy, that Jalen Johnson from the Chicago Bears is the guy.
Okay.
That everybody's
So he just had 2 interceptions after the game. He said he wants to get paid.
Yeah.
So that's a guy, much like we talked about with Surtain, you'd probably be looking at having to give him a new deal.
I would be willing because he's only 24 years old. That I feel like that he is in the final year, as you mentioned, of his rookie deal. Ryan Poles has said he wants to keep him, but if a contending team is looking to make an upgrade with a player, this is the guy because of just what you mentioned in coverage. I would think that if you went and got a guy like this and played him opposite Diggs next year, and I don't think he's going to command the money of Diggs. I don't, but I feel like though that you could really shore that thing up and then keep Bland at the nickel because I think there's some liability issues there with Jordan Lewis. I think
for sure.
So that's just keep an eye on that one. Another name my guys gave me was Dante Jackson,
Carolina,
from the Carolina Panthers, and they're thinking that this is kind of a mid-round guy that you would have to Now we'll see what Carolina is going to do because they're 0-6.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about trading Brian Burns, their outside linebacker, but that's going to be for a first-round pick. Dante Jackson seems like a guy that has got a very friendly contract, and he is and it only costs you like a mid-round pick. Another guy
that's what the Cowboys would do.
Yeah, that sounds right up the Cowboys' alley.
Yeah.
The other one that they mentioned too was this Isaac Yiadom.
Isaac Yiadom, okay.
Yeah, and he's from the Saints.
Right.
And so
he's playing opposite of Debo, I think.
Yeah. And so when you really kind of dive into him, that the Saints haven't needed him because he played because of Marshawn Lattimore, Adobo.
Paulson Adebo,
local
guy from Stanford.
and then Alte Taylor is another one. Those guys are all playing ahead of him.
That makes sense. They got a surplus, it sounds like.
They got a surplus there, so that might be another one. And then the final guy that they were mentioned here was Mike Jackson from the Seahawks. And
former Cowboy. He was a Cowboy draft pick.
Yeah, and that he's like the fourth corner. Another team with surplus. They got Woolen, Witherspoon, and Trey Brown. And so it sounds like that the Seahawks, again, reading into some of this stuff, is looking for D-line help. So maybe you have something, maybe there's something that you have D-line wise.
Neville Gallimore, Dorrance Armstrong.
Exactly. That's the one.
That makes sense.
That's the one name. Everybody's kind of talking about Neville Gallimore. I had a couple of teams on my Gang of Seven ask me about Neville Gallimore and how he's playing. But let's see if, in fact, that the Seahawks might be interested in trading a defensive lineman for one of these corners. So those are some names you got to keep an eye on as we get to the trade deadline on October 31st.
Thank you, Brian. The 806 says Rangers reacted to losing DeGrom by getting Scherzer and Montgomery. Cowboys need to react to losing Diggs. I hear you, man. I salute how the Rangers have made it such a priority to get this championship done and let nothing stand in their way so far.